One of the biggest rappers of all time and one of the flashiest attorneys on the scene today are going to war. Tony Busby publicly named Jay-Z in a lawsuit on behalf of a woman who says he raped her as a child. And from there, the fight was on. And now, the powerhouse Texas attorney is involved in a lawsuit against Jay-Z's entertainment company, accusing them of paying his own clients to turn against him. Welcome. Hey guys, so this is pretty scary. Did you know that children are being diagnosed with serious conditions like type 2 diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? And research is potentially linking ultra-processed foods to this. Well, so if you've been following the drama surrounding Jay-Z being named in a Sean Diddy Combs lawsuit as a child rapist, you know that attention has been shifting from what are horrific allegations against Combs and Jay-Z to this battle that has been going on both in the press and in legal fightings between Tony Busby, the attorney representing this alleged victim, and Jay-Z and Roc Nation, the entertainment giant that Jay-Z founded. Now, Tony Busby, already a prominent lawyer in Texas who represented accusers in cases against high-profile clients like NFL player Deshaun Watson, he burst onto the world stage really in October when he announced his intention of filing more than 100 civil lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. And he also promised to name high-profile celebrities that he says were involved in the sexual assault and raping of both men and women.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world.
And I'll tell you what, Busby, true to his word, has filed more than a dozen individual cases on behalf of Jane and John Doe's. But the first celebrity to be publicly named in one of these complaints was Jay-Z, real name Sean Carter, now listed as a defendant in one of these cases. And the backlash from that was swift. Roc Nation, Jay-Z, they came out swinging, not only denying the allegations that Jay-Z raped a 13-year-old girl back in 2000, but also confronting Tony Busby about what they say is alleged misconduct. We actually did a whole sidebar episode about the accusations that Busby committed ethical violations. You can check that out on our YouTube channel for the full story. But going back to this, on top of all of that, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's lead counsel, filed a lawsuit against Busby and basically said that Busby had tried to extort money from his client, saying if Jay-Z didn't pay up, this lawsuit would be filed and his reputation would be ruined. But now I have another lawsuit to talk to you about. This new lawsuit that was filed against Roc Nation by one of Busby's former clients. And this accuses the media company of essentially, allegedly trying to buy him off. So the lawsuit claims that Roc Nation paid people to impersonate officials, use fake badges, and offer money to people who agreed to file lawsuits against Busby's law firm. Again, now Jay-Z's #1 enemy. We got our hands on this complaint that was filed in Harris County, Texas, with a man named Gerardo Garcia as the plaintiff. And Garcia is a former client of the Busby firm who says he was approached at his home by some of these alleged bad actors. And this is the law firm that represents Jay-Z, often just referred to as Quinn Emanuel. And the complaint accuses the defendants of basically committing barratry. It's a legal term you might not have heard before, but it's the act of encouraging someone to file frivolous lawsuits so that their attorney can make money. It's the one where he says that he was extorted by Tony Busby. And this, by the way, he was first filed as a John Doe. We didn't know it was Carter yet. This was filed before he was officially named in this lawsuit that he allegedly sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl. So what proof do Busby and his client have to back up these quite salacious allegations? Well, Busby says several interactions between his former clients and these alleged bad actors were caught on tape. Yeah, in fact, Busby shared a photo on Instagram of these three men standing on a front stoop in a neighborhood. In the caption, he said, "Investigators from New York have contacted many of our law firm's current and former clients. These investigators aren't very smart. What they didn't anticipate was one of the clients decided to record the conversation." And the filing includes an alleged transcript of a conversation between Gerardo Garcia and Jessica Santiago, as well as affidavits from other former clients. They say that they were contacted and offered money if they would sue Busby's firm. Now, according to the transcript, Santiago wanted Garcia to sign what she called a contract to investigate, which she explained gave a private lawyer permission to look into Garcia's case and settlement. She also mentioned several times that she is from the state. Now, Santiago reportedly goes on to claim that 70 people are involved in a class action lawsuit against Busby, and she allegedly tells Garcia that the lawyer she wants him to talk to is Marcy Croft from MJ Legal. Again, this is a private firm, but Croft reportedly does work with Roc Nation. In the filing, Busby included a screenshot of one of Croft's posts on Instagram where she gave a shout out to Roc Nation and Jay-Z, saying she was proud to be a small part of a great team. Now, the filing also includes another alleged transcript of a recorded telephone conversation, but it is unclear when this conversation exactly happened or who exactly was participating. But based on the fact that this was included in the lawsuit, I think we can conclude that the person on the call is a former client of Tony Busby's. But he apparently tells the two attorneys on the other end of the phone that he didn't want to answer any questions about his case, including who his lawyer was, but he said he would listen to what they had to say. So, the allegation that former clients are being offered money to file a lawsuit is actually backed up by two affidavits included as exhibits here in the filing. In one, a Louisiana woman named Skylar Taylor says that three men from New York showed up at her grandmother's home multiple times, unannounced, uninvited. And then we have this affidavit from another woman in Louisiana. Her name is Shannon Champagne, and she tells apparently a very similar story. But she says she was offered a much larger sum of money. Attorney Marcy Croft responded to this lawsuit in a statement to USA Today, saying, Tony Busby has now conjured up fantastical allegations against me and my firm, well-known corruption fighters, in a desperate attempt to distract from his mounting legal woes. We look forward to addressing these false allegations and having them dismissed. Roc Nation also responded, and this is a statement also that was obtained by USA. It says, Tony Busby's baloney lawsuit against Roc Nation is nothing but another sham. It's a pathetic attempt to distract and deflect attention. This sideshow won't change the ultimate outcome, and true justice will be served soon. So we wanted to know more about this apparently pending litigation against Tony Busby, so we did a little bit of digging. And we found out that just a few days ago, a Louisiana man filed a lawsuit against the attorney and his firm. According to the complaint, Adam Guidry was a ship captain who was severely injured on the job. And in the filing, it states the Busby defendants told Guidry his case was worth $1 million, but later coerced him into settling for less than 1/3 of that amount. In insisting that he settle, Busby defendants never explained Guidry's options, never discussed the pros and cons of trial versus settlement, never disclosed mounting expenses, and never disclosed the meager amount Guidry would receive at distribution. Instead, Busby defendants told Guidry he had no choice. Guidry was vulnerable. He had lost his job as a result of his injury. He was financially destitute. His marriage had failed, and he was struggling with addiction. Relying on his lawyers, Guidry accepted. So according to Guidry, they settled the case for $325,000, but when the case was over and the funds were dispersed, he only got, allegedly, a little more than $5,000. Allegedly, the Busby law firm kept the rest to cover fees and expenses, including $90,000 for expert witness fees, nearly $6,000 for postage and copies, nearly $10,000 for more copies, and another $9,000 for travel expenses. The lawsuit also alleges that Busby charged interest on what he called loans, basically money up front that the firm used to pay for things before a settlement had been reached. And firms, by the way, are legally allowed to charge interest, but the amount is kind of limited. According to Guidry, Busby charged him 27% interest. Now, the Guidry filing also talks about a similar case that was filed against the same company that employed Guidry. This is Callan Marine. It was filed on behalf of a woman named Guadalupe Garza. Now, in maritime cases, workers recovering from an injury, they're entitled to what's called maintenance and cure. It's a type of workman's compensation. And maintenance is money that covers things like mortgage payments, food. Cure is supposed to cover medical expenses. Now, the complaint says at a hearing in the Garza case, Callan Marine's counsel stated that A, other Busby clients have reported not receiving maintenance and cure paid to the Busby law firm, and B, according to records, Busby defendants deposited maintenance and cure payments into its operating account rather than its trust account. And C, the Busby law firm apparently repackages maintenance and cure payments intended to provide living expenses for injured workers into loans which must be repaid with interest. So these are serious accusations of misappropriation of money and deceiving clients. And as far as we can tell, Busby has not responded to Guidry's claims, and it remains unclear what impact, if any, these accusations could have on other civil litigation that Busby has filed on behalf of his clients. But I'll tell you one thing, this is a legal war, and this is a legal mess. That's all we have for you right now. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always,